Okay.
Welcome to lockdown 4. So the reason that we actually thought about doing this today, so I'm Mandy, if anybody doesn't know me. First of all, anybody who's not on mute, please mute yourself. Thank you. So the reason this came about was my husband actually came home with 2 massive bags of lemons. He said, I've got these lemons, they're really cheap. I'm going, fantastic, but what am I going to do with them all? Okay. And then my lovely friend over the road, Kelly, messaged me and said, I've got a whole lot of lemons. Do you need any? I said, no. I'm frantically Googling on Cookie Do to see what I can use a whole lot of lemons for. And then I thought, well, hang on, you know, when life gives you lemons, and you could argue that, you know, lockdown's a bit of a lemon as well. Why don't we just mix it all up and just do something for you guys? So that for me is a positive about lockdown, is that, you know, we have this opportunity. We loved doing this for you guys last year. And I know it's, once we're, you know, everyone's out and about, it's much harder to make the time to sit and watch something, but we've got a captive audience, so we thought we might as well take advantage of that. So welcome, thank you so much for coming and joining us today. So just so you are aware, yeah, if everybody could be mute, if you during the, you know, whilst we're on here, that'd be great. And down the bottom of your screen there is a chat box. Please feel free to post in the chat box. We've got a few consultants on here in the team, so Boone and Pearl and Keisha. Keisha's going to cook as well, and we are very happy to answer any questions that you have. All right. Oh, Miriam made lemon curd today, so did I. All right. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is I'm going to start making, well, the lemony, the seriously lemony slice. Okay. This Thermomix here, and I'll go through a little bit more of the TM6 in a minute. So I've saved this recipe in my week, and I've done a little bit of a variation. So anyone who knows me knows that I choose to eat gluten-free, and so what I've actually done with this slice, there is a base, and I could have used gluten flour. I prefer to use nuts if I can. So what I did was I had a little bit of a look, and I went to these little lemon cheesecakes, which I'll just show you quickly. They are amazing. They're really beautiful. I've made those before. We've got a few more in the waiting room, Boone, please.
Yes.
Yep. And so I've made the base of these. So I'll just tell you what it was. And I did have to increase, I doubled the ingredients, because these are for the little tiny cheesecake things. So the base ingredients are, it says tiger nuts, but tiger nuts, it gives you tips, and it's interesting because in one recipe I've seen tiger nuts used, and it says use macadamias. In this one it says if you haven't got tiger nuts, use pecans. So I use pecans. Amygdal dates, some maple syrup, coconut oil. I didn't use the cacao powder. I did use just a little bit of water. So basically I blitzed all that up, and I put that in the base here. So that is the base of my lemony slice, but not made from that recipe. But you absolutely could make it from that recipe. Now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to come back to today where I have my recipe, which is here. Okay, so as I've already started this and I've made a different base, I'm going to go to use the down button here. It's got the base preparation here, and just so you know, it is normally plain flour, caster sugar, unsalted butter. Pretty much blitz it all together, pop it, you know, press it into the bottom of the tin, and then you bake it in the oven for 15 minutes at 180. Okay, and then you remove it and you reduce the oven temperature. Well, the base that I made has not required any baking. So we're going to carry on from here. So just want you to note that I can actually just tap on there, and it will take me to the right place in the recipe. Okay, so 30 grams.
I haven't, because I haven't looked. I've been in the store.
Just making sure. Whoever's not on mute, could you please mute yourself? Thank you. All right, so I have 30 grams of caster sugar. Here, put that in there. 2 lemon skins, peelings of the skin. So I like you to try and get a nice thin peeling without the pith underneath. I've done that. Put my lid on. 10 seconds. All I've got to do is to turn up to speed 10. Straight down the sides of it. That's the peeler that I use. So I find that actually is really good at getting a very close, well, it's not a close peel, like it doesn't get much pith. So it's a very fine peel, if you like. Here we go, 10 seconds. Scraping down the side here. And again. 20 seconds on speed 10. There we go. So it's all very finely ground. Interesting thing, sometimes I find with lemon peel or orange for that matter, that it can be left quite chunky. It usually works really well if you've got sugar or something else in there too. This is a little bit stuck on the bottom, so I'm just going to loosen that up because we want all the flavour in the slice. But I've found, I don't know whether it's a type of lemon or what it is, but I've done a fair bit of lemon rind. That was 6. No, that wasn't. That was however many lemons I was meant to do too. Another one I did 6. All right, inserting my butterfly whisk. Just a little reminder about this. You've just got to make sure that you pop it over like that and just give it a little twist towards the blades. Stay on. Then I've got 270 grams of caster sugar, which is in here. And then 4 large eggs, which I've just broken in there, as my mother always taught me. Don't break them straight into the mixture because you'll waste the other ingredients if anything's bad. All right. Okay, now this is going to whisk on speed 4. Remember, maximum speed 4 with the butterfly in there for 3 minutes. And in that time, we're going to go over to Keisha, and she's going to start the dish that she's making, which is a salmon dish. So I've already turned this off. A bit noisy. I'm going, oh, well done. Thanks, Boone.
Hello, everyone. I'm making today lemon caper salmon with ribbon squash. I'll have a squash. I've got zucchini and carrots. And it's an American recipe. So it uses the imperial measures, and it's automatic. Instead of imperial measurements, it goes to automatic of us American ones, which is ounces. So you don't have to worry about measuring. It will tell you and it weigh for you straight away in the American measurements. So let me start cooking. So we choose the recipe that I had in my week, and let's start cooking. And it tells me to lightly grease aroma tray with non-stick cooking spray and set aside, which I sprayed and I put it aside. And then we place the next, we place 2 ounces of shallots or spring onions. I've got it about this amount. And then we add in garlic. Asking for garlic, 1 garlic. I've got a little bit more because I like the garlic. And what's next? Unsalted butter, 2 ounces. That's about 7. That doesn't matter. That'll be a little bit more buttery. And we insert measuring cup, and it will blend for us, chop for us in 3 seconds on speed. And we go next, and we scraping down the chopped butter. Here we are. Can you see? Here we are. It chopped for us 3 seconds only instead of chopping and chopping and chopping. And it's mixed together with the butter as well. Next, we inserting the measuring cup, and we're gonna cook for 5 minutes on 250 degrees Fahrenheit on speed 1. And what I did is use the peeler, the same as Mandy did, and I did the little strips of carrots thinly sliced. So you can use the spiral ones that are very fancy nowadays, everybody uses. But if you use peeler, you've got like a spaghetti, like a pasta sort of thin slices. You can put it on the bottom of the tray, or we're gonna steam it. And after, what else I can tell you? I'm gonna use about 2 big pieces of salmon. It's asking for 4, but they smaller ones. I've got bigger ones, so I'm gonna put 2. And
that's all good, Keisha. We can come back to me because my beating's finished.
It's finished. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I was just going to show you too. The other thing that so she's used the peeler. But if you've got something like this, a spiralizer, obviously you can spiralize your veggies and do it that way as well.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so I've got my eggs and my sugar all beaten up like that, nice and thick. Now I've got to add 40 grams of plain flour, and this is gluten-free plain flour. $125 grams of lemon juice. Now, with my lemon juice, I have squeezed out the lemon, but you know how when you squeeze on the squeezer, whatever you call that thing, the juicer, you get all the little bits of lemon as well. I've taken out the pips, but I put the lemon bits in because I don't see why we should waste them really. So I'm going to pop that in too. Pop the lid on. 10 seconds, speed 3. Whatever you notice then, I just touch the screen. You can stop the noise of the thermix just by touching the screen. Next, straight down the sides of the mixing bowl with the spatula. So it does need a little bit more of a mix up. You can see I've got the flour around there. So I'm just going to scrape all that down. Make sure it all gets mixed in. Lid on again. 10 seconds, speed 3, just a little bit of a mix up. Oh, it sounds delicious. It can sound delicious. It sounds delicious. All right, now I'm going to take the butterfly whip out, whisk even. That out, pop that in the sink, and then pour into the tin over the base. I'll mouse that way. So I've lined this tin with parchment paper. Oh my goodness, that is so close to going over the edge one side. Yeah, so I've lined it with parchment paper, and that is actually compostable. So I'll get it out and show you in a minute what it is. Bake for 40 minutes at 140. So I've got to very carefully get this into the oven without anything leaking over. Okay, grab the parchment paper. So this is the parchment baking paper, all right? So it's compostable, it's unbleached, totally chlorine free. So it's made by If You Care. So the environment is very important to me, and that's, you know, even if you've got baking paper, please try and reuse it rather than, you know, I mean, obviously some bits you can't reuse if you've been, you know, if you've cut it or you've got, if it's meat, I don't reuse it, but anything else as much as possible, I try and wash and reuse. The same with this, but this is compostable, so you can actually put that in the compost bin. Okay, all right. Now, next thing I am making is, so I was going to bake for 40 minutes. Actually, Boone, would you mind timing that for me, please? Because I'll probably forget. And I've got to leave it to cool completely. I'll show it to you. I won't be able to cut it into bars because it's need to cool completely. Okay, Keisha, are you done?
Yeah, my butter, it's
all right, we'll come back to you then first.
Okay, so let's see what next is asking the Thermomix. It's asking for 7 ounces of vegetable stock, not paste, so don't get confused. It has to be vegetable stock. So what I did, I put 1 teaspoon of vegetables paste in the water and thin it up. So let's put 7 ounces of vegetable stock. So that's about 200 mils of liquid, if you want to be precise. And white wine, one ounce of white wine. It will give you this nice restaurant flavor. And next. And we'll place the varoma on top with the salmon on it. So I've got 2 pieces of salmon. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna place it on top of the bowl and cover it with the lid. And I'll season the salmon with the salt and pepper for taste. And asking to put the lemon slices on top of the salmon, which I cut out nice and thin. Next, and it will go for 10 minutes on varoma on speed 2. So all the liquid will be cooking for us. It will be making a sauce from it, and at the same time, it's steaming the fish.
Thank you, Keisha. We'll come back to me now. Oh, thank you, Boone. All right. So the next recipe that I'm going to make is called Hunter's Lemon Chicken Rissoles or something like that. We'll see. It's in here in my week. Hunter's Lemon Chicken Rissoles. There you go. Now, apparently, the name is after someone who developed the recipe. So it's nothing to do with hunting chickens or anything like that. All right. Okay, line a baking tray with baking paper and set aside. Well, I've read the recipe a bit further through, and that's really just for making the rissoles on. So yes, these recipes are on Cookie Doo. And the other thing I'm going to do in here, so again, as I said, I try to eat gluten-free. I choose to eat gluten-free. If I go through the recipe detail, I noticed when I was looking at it, 2 pieces of day-old bread torn into small pieces. Now, what I'm going to use instead I've just got a mixed thing of nuts because the bread's there just to help bind. So what I'm going to do is just save the recipe here. I'm going to put these nuts in. It's about 100 grams. I'm going to pop the lid on. And I'm just going to blitz for 10 seconds to make it into a meal. You love the way it saves the recipe up there on the screen, and then you can tap that and we're going to be back where we were. Now, I know I have the luxury of having 2 Thermomix bowls. I could have just done that mid recipe, but this, if you've only got 1 bowl, this is the way you would do it. You'd read through first. If you wanted to make this option, do this option. Obviously, if you're just using the bread, you don't need to worry about it. But I know there are other people out there. I don't think I'm the only person who's gluten-free in this world. So I just thought I might as well share that with you too. Our current offer for anyone purchasing a TM6 is actually a 2nd bowl and blade set for $99, which is an amazing offer. And it's really helpful for things like this, when you're in the middle of a recipe and you suddenly think, oh no, I should have done that. I've got to tip everything out. I've got to make my almond meal or nut meal or whatever you got to do. So by having 2 bowls, you can just swap over. As I said, that was just preempting. All right. So now I'm going to have 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, which I've already cut here. And I'm going to pop the lid on. 7 seconds, speed 7. And I've got to put that into small. I'm just going to put that in the container it came from. And a little bit later on, I'm going to share with you when I put this, posted about this class in the Facebook group. So anybody who's not in the Facebook group who wants to join, feel free. It's Cook and Connect with Mandy Powers, Thermomix team leader. I had one girl who I know is also a consultant, and she said, it's all very well, a lot of these recipes that you see only use a small amount of lemon. And if you've got a large amount of lemons to use, then, what are the recipes that use a lot of lemon? So I have made a note of some of those and I'll share them with you later. Zest of 1 lemon, no pith. Okay, lid on again. Probably could have put that in with the cheese, actually. That's that. So scrape down the side. So let's do that quickly. Two garlic cloves. Now, in here, I have a selection of the next few things. So I got a whole lot of organic garlic not that long ago, and I peeled it all and using the Thermomix, and I've frozen it. So if it looks a bit funny, it's because it's frozen. So that's the garlic. And then it says 2 spring onions. I've got those lurking in here. You can see there's bits of spring onion, and I'm using the green as well as the white because I've just, zero waste. Use everything you can. A bit more of that come in. And in here, I've got basil, and you can see the basil leaves there, and I've got parsley as well. So all that's going in there. Lid on. 5 seconds, speed 7. Scrape down the sides. Yeah, all chopped up there. I can see. Oh, I'll tell you what, smells incredible. Just, the basil and the lemon, and oh, amazing. And one of the things, I've been doing a little bit of reading about the lemon, and of course, it's the zest of the lemon. That's where you get all the lemony oils from, and that's why it smells beautiful. So we're not using the 2 pieces of bread. We're using this the almond, well, it's, yeah, mixed nuts actually. Got my lid on.
Mandy, there's a question if the frozen garlic tastes the same as
Yeah, it
fresh.
does. Absolutely, absolutely. It's just if you've got a large lot of garlic, it will start to grow. But it tastes absolutely the same. It's just really convenient. I'll grab it in a minute. I've got a big bag of it just in the freezer. I'll just pull it out when I need it. Doing 5 seconds speed 6 with the need a bigger bowl. Didn't read this bit. I've got to transfer it into the bowl with the grated parmesan. So bigger bowl coming out. I'm going to put that mixture in there and the cheese. So the cheese is going in. I'm just going to scrape this out. And it's probably stickier than it would be because it's nuts. And the bread probably wouldn't be quite as sticky, but I don't really mind because half of the reason of being in there is to help bind it all. So that's all good. Yeah, and in regards to the garlic, it was just that I had the opportunity to get some that was organic, because a lot of the stuff you get in the shops is not has been sprayed. All right, skinless chicken breast fillets. Now I have these have been in a little bit in the freezer. It says partially frozen. I probably could have put them in a little bit longer, but it doesn't really matter. The whole aim of this exercise is to show you how to mince meat. So I've just got it chopped up into pieces like this, all going in. And it does say chicken breast. Well, no chicken breast left in the freezer in the supermarket, as you can imagine. And so that they were just tenderloins, but I could have used leg as well. So mincing meat, 7 seconds, speed 7. That's all it is. And that's my bag of garlic. I just sitting there in the freezer. Pull them out when I need it. Okay. So I don't know if any of you have watched. Oh, I'll show you the mince. Here we go. You're perfect. You know that there's no additives and preservatives. That is just meat. 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. Doing a guesstimate. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all my sesame seeds here. They've gone in. 1 egg. Going in. 55 grams of frozen peas. So I don't know if you can see, I've got green on the bottom here, and I've got 55 grams of frozen corn. So I've got the yellow and the green all mixed up together in there. Two pinches of salt. And some black pepper. And the reserved parmesan, and well, it's my mixture with the nuts instead of the bread. All going in. Oh, and I forgot, but I'm going to add this in now. It does say one of the options is you can add a bit of chili in when you do the garlic. So that's little. I mean, that's probably bigger than it would have been otherwise if you'd added it in with the garlic. But I'm going to pop it in now. So a little bit of a kick to the for these as well. I made san choy bao, and that was left over from the garnish. So again, let's use up what we've got in the fridge. Lid on. 15 seconds, speed 3, but I'm on reverse now, so it's literally mixing. All right, and it says, well, it needs a bit more of a mix because my sticky, you see, I've still got a lump of my green there. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a mix through, and that's because I haven't followed the recipe. Okay, naughty Mandy. but I've adjusted it for me. Look, I could have used gluten-free bread, but I actually don't eat gluten-free bread. So this was another option, but give that a little bit of a mix. If it had been the normal breadcrumbs, that would have all mixed in perfectly. And you know what? It's not a big deal because it's mixed in now. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to pop that aside because we've got more things to do, and I will make some of these up in a minute.
Wendy, I'm ready.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. So when I do it, I'm just going to make them into little patties and pop them into some plain flour. And it says place onto prepared baking tray, but you're not actually baking them. I mean, you probably could, but it actually says to pan fry them. All right, we'll go back to Keisha.
Okay, the salmon, it's not ready yet, so it's cooking away. It's asking now to put the carrots and zucchini onto the tray. So I'm gonna place the salmon on the side, and I'm gonna put zucchini, and I'll show you in a second. I've got quite a lot. I went over the board with the veggies, but they will shrivel down. So it will, I'll put the salmon on top again. Because they thin, I don't make a space to vaporize quicker because they thin, the steam will go faster. And it asking to place, tells you all the steps what to do. And that will cook for 9 minutes on speed 2 on Baroma. Thank you.
Okie doke. Back to me. Oh, thanks. Oh no, you're
Sorry, hang on.
Yeah, you'll get there. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Boone. All right, so I've got my mixture there. I haven't got dirty hands yet because there's a few more things I've got to show you first. I will make some up. All right, so if I want to, it says actually cover with plastic wrap and place in the refrigerator for a minimum 30 minutes. So I will make some little patties up. I may not get them cooked, but you know, it's pretty easy. You know what to do. You just got to put them in a pan, or you could pop them in the oven. All right. It says place in a frying pan and add oil and heat. But if you want to get out of a recipe, you can just use these 3 dots here and you can go cancel recipe. So that's what we're doing. Okay, next one, my week. I am doing the lemon and caper aioli. So does anyone make their own mayonnaise? Just pop in the chat if you do. Yep, thanks, Vicky. Anyone else make their own mayonnaise? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, it's so easy to do, and this is very similar. So the important thing when you're making your mayo is that you drizzle the oil through the lid slowly, and we're going to do that exactly with this aioli, but we are using some lemon. Okay, start cooking. We've got one of my nice frozen garlic cloves. And I've got 3 pieces of lemon zest. What's really cool with this is that I'm using a lot of lemon zest, because you know, often you squeeze lemons and you actually waste the zest, but I'm loving the fact that we've got so much here that's actually using it. Okay, lid on, 10 seconds, speed 8. Okay. Just scrape down the sides. Oh, there's a whole piece of lemon peel on the bottom. I think we're going to be blitzing it again anyway. Interesting, because as I said yesterday, oh, I know a bit of the moisture from the garlic might be making a difference with that. I made lots of lemon zest, which we're going to use in a minute. I don't know if any of you find, sometimes you're listening to your Thermomix and you think it's actually, it's not doing anything, it's not chopping. Sometimes the speed is too high. So it might be chopping to begin with, but then you find that everything's just round the outside of the bowl. So what I do then is I stop it, I scrape it down, and then I might try speed 5 or 6 rather than speed 9. So if you know, because we do learn to use our ears with cooking, and if you hear that, just turn the speed down. I've still got a chunk there which I'm not going to put in, so that bit hasn't chopped, but the other is fine enough. I'm happy with this. So smells good too. 12 pickled capers. I think I have 13, but I've got my capers in here, and then I'm going to have 2 egg yolks, which I've got over here, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So I'm going to pop that in first here. And I've got my 2 egg yolks going in. All right. Insert measuring cup into mixing bowl lid. 30 seconds, speed 4. Going to get dirty hands whilst that's happening. Only gave me time to make 2 rissoles. All right, straight down the sides of the bowl. Here we are. I've got everything mixed up down here. And one of the reasons for making this, obviously, I'm using up some lemon, but I thought these lemon aioli go really nice with the rissoles. Okay. Now, little tip. I have weighed out my my oil already, but when it says place a jug onto the mixing bowl lid, pop the jar that you're going to keep your finished product in, and then weigh it in there. So you're saving on a little bit of washing up. And what I've had to do is put 250 grams of grapeseed oil. I was just short by about 20 grams, so I did use olive oil. The reason it suggests grapeseed oil is because it's not a strong flavor. Some olive oil can really stand out when you're making a mayonnaise or an aioli or something like that. So using the grapeseed oil, it's a more subtle flavor. It's not a strong flavor that takes over. All right, remove my jar. Now, remembering always that even when your measuring cup is in, there is always a gap around here. And this is what we do to emulsify. I'm going to slowly pour the oil in the next stage. And that's exactly what you do for mayonnaise. And also, if you're a smoothie person and you don't want your smoothie to separate, then you can emulsify your smoothie. So you put most of your other items, you know, most of the ingredients of your smoothie in the bowl, a little bit of liquid, and then drizzle the rest through like you do with your oil, with your mayo and this aioli, and your smoothie will not separate. So just a little 2 minutes on. I'm always too impatient with this, so it might not take 2 minutes, but we'll see how we go on speed 4. And again, I don't know if you can hear me, but use your ears and you can hear the sound changing.
No, we don't hear much, Mandy.
No, that's all right. And I'm just going to push the rest of it, make sure the rest of it goes in. We can get in there. So I wasn't too quick that time. Helps having an audience. You got to behave, do it the right way. Look at that. It smells incredible. So another little tip here, what you can do. First of all, anyone who doesn't have a TM6, look at our TM6 measuring cup. It stays in place. It's got little lugs, so it actually, when you turn the things upside down, it stays in place. It does also fit the other lids of the other machines, by the way. If you want to use, you can use a jam funnel to put things into a jar. But the other thing is just turn your lid upside down like that, because that's the dirty side anyway. And we're just going to pop it in because I am renowned for being a bit messy. So anything that helps me with direction is a good thing. Okay, another little tip, and I know Kelly and Robin and other customers of mine will know what I'm going to say next. Well, they'll be able to tell you. Actually, let's get someone to put something in the chat. What do we do to clean the blades? Who knows? Turbo, yes. Perfect. So I'm just going to turbo. It just pushes everything. So I can, again, go hit the, I've saved my recipe. I'm going to swipe this way. I'm going to go to turbo. Hit this one and just turn. Really, really important when you're turboing in your TM5 or your TM6, you have to get out of turbo for it to release the lid. If it's the TM5, it's down the bottom here. I can just release the lid by doing that, or I could have literally just gone back into my recipe and that would also release the lid. Now you can see that the blades are actually clean, and I'll just scrape a little bit more of this aioli out. And whenever you're scraping, always push everything down to the bottom of the bowl. It seems a little counterintuitive, but push it down there first, then go in a clockwise direction, and then your spatula is hitting the rounded side of the blades, not the sharp side of the blades. So you're going to stop it from getting nicks and things. All right, so there's our aioli, and I'm actually going to have a little taste. That's pretty good. Yeah, nice lemony hit as you in the last little bit there, so that's good. All right, so we've done that. We've done the oil. Oh, pinch of sea salt. Haven't done that. Missed that bit. Never mind. Transfer into a sealable container and refrigerate until ready to use. All right. So the next thing I'm going to show you is with another bowl. This is bowl number 3. Is lemon pepper seasoning. Okay.
Do you want to come to me now?
Sure.
Finish off with the sauce for the salmon.
Yeah, that's fine. Keisha, we'll come to you.
I just took it out of the bowl, the varoma, and put it aside with the salmon and the zucchinis, and they keeping warm. And I will finish off now the sauce for the salmon. The water and the, I don't know, you can't see it. reduced a little bit. So we're now gonna thicken with the butter, which is asking to put half an ounce of butter. This is that much. And 1 tablespoon of flour. And we will place the basket on top. It's asking for, and we'll cook for 6 minutes the sauce. It will thickens, and you can thinner with the lemon and stock the sauce later. And it goes on the speed 3 on Baroma for 6 minutes.
Thanks, Keisha. All right. So lemon pepper seasoning. And for this, what I actually had to do yesterday, that's a whole lot. That's the zest of 6 lemons. So remember I said to you earlier on, I've used an awful lot of zest in these recipes. And that's great because there's all sorts of ways you can actually use your juice as well. So what I did yesterday was preheat the oven to 40 degrees or the lowest temperature. Lined my baking tray with my, actually I used the Thermomix baking mat in there, the silicone mat. 4 to 6 lemons came in, put in here. I used 6 because I've got a lot of lemons. Insert the measuring cup, 20 seconds on speed 10, and it did a beautiful job of that zest. Then I spread it out onto the baking tray and it was in there for about an hour and a half. And that's my, or if you had a dehydrator, you could do a dehydrate. Okay, now the next thing is so simple. 60 grams of whole black peppercorns, 130 grams of Himalayan salt, so I've got my pink salt there, and my dried lemon zest. So measuring cup, 6 seconds, speed 10. There you go. Transfer into sealed container and store in a cool, dark place until ready to use. Oh, just got pepper down my throat. So good old Vegemite jar. And we'll do that same trick again. There it is. With the lid on top, upside down. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, stay back. It's really getting me. But I love lemon pepper. So anyone got any ideas where you'd use this? Any thoughts? Where would you choose to use it?
I think on anything.
Yeah, I reckon. And I was thinking potatoes, yeah, you know, on some fish, things like if you're making your own crackers, then obviously you could, yeah, fish. Thanks, Annette. Great minds think alike. But yeah, you know, if you're making your own crackers, you could put some of this on top of the crackers. I think that'd be really delicious because you know sometimes you do pita bread with lemon pepper on. So I think that'd be really good. So that's really simple. And I've got a couple of other things to show you that I've made. I'm also going to tell you about which recipes use the most lemon. A lot of lemons. So yesterday I also made, this is lemon and rosemary oil. And it was, again, lemon zest. And the sprigs of rosemary, take the leaves off, literally blitz it in the Thermomix with some garlic. And then you put the oil in and it just cooked for 20 minutes in the Thermomix. That's it. All you do then is you let it cool a little bit. You drain the oil. Well, you put a sprig, you can see that there's a sprig of rosemary in there. And you strain the oil. All the bits are taken out of the oil, but you put the oil in there. I actually used it this morning with some mushrooms. You know how mushrooms go, and they suck up all the oil? It's delicious, absolutely delicious. So I've got 2 jars of this, very pretty jars, but you know what? I'm not going to Chadstone to buy any other ones at the moment. So that was great. And of course, lemon curd. I made the larger quantity TM6 one. Let me just have a look at this a minute. Tell you the exact recipe. No, it's not on there. Recently cooked. Thinking. All right, recently cooked. I did 1,300 grams, TM6, 1,300 grams lemon curd, 3 jars like this. Now that used 300 grams of lemon juice. So if you're looking for something that's going to use up a lot of lemon juice, lemon curd is right up there. And I'll tell you the other things I've got on my list. How am I going with my slice spoon?
About 4 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. All right. Where's my little, I've got a little lemon note on here. So I'll find it, lemons. Okay. So lemon curd, I use the previous, if it's a small amount, 150 grams. That was a large one, and that was 300 grams. There is a smoked trout pasta that uses 60 grams of lemon juice. Lemon feta, so there's a few recipes, and I'm going to show you some in a minute on Cookie Doo, which have lemon feta, and that uses 45 grams of lemon juice. Lemon basil tarts, they look really fancy. That's the sort of thing lovely Irene would make. They use 125 grams of lemon juice, and mini lemon curd tarts also do. There's a Maya lemon bars as well, so Maya lemon, as in type of lemon bars. They use 125 grams of lemon juice. Lemon cheesecakes use 150 grams. Lemon ice cream torte uses 100 grams. And there's a few more. So lemon meringue cupcakes, and a lemon sorbet uses 200 grams. So there are plenty of recipes where if you want to use them up, you know, you don't want to make too many different things. There's a lot of recipes out there that do actually call for a lot of lemon juice. A couple of tips in getting most of the juice out of your lemons. I had different types of lemons, and unfortunately the bags that my husband bought had the really thick skins, and they didn't have as much juice in them. Whereas the thinner skinned ones have a lot more juice. I don't know how you tell the difference. I did mean to try and look that up, but then I forgot. So, but what you can do to help, I've got a few notes here, to get the most of the juice from your lemons, you can microwave them for 15 to 20 seconds. And also just rolling them on your bench top, that helps release a bit more juice as well. Okay, I've got a few other tips, being, you know, a bit of a zero waster. A few other tips here. So the peel has 3 times the amount of vitamin C than the flesh does. So all these recipes that we've actually made here, we've used the zest in. So, you know, great immune boosters. By using the peel, you can use less lemon because it has more flavor in it as well. Mind you, we're trying to use up lemon. So, okay. Bulk citrus juice cubes. So if you've got a lot of lemons left and you really run out of ideas, you don't want to make anything else, then you can just juice them. But instead of juicing them with, you know, by cutting them in half and squeezing them, just take all the skin and the pith off, cut them in half, take the pips out, and then blitz them up in your Thermomix. All right. You can take out any really big chunky bits of, you know, the whatever you call the dividing bits that, you know, divide up the lemon, take those out, but, you know, blitz the rest of it, and then put it in ice cubes. 1 ice cube is equivalent to half a lemon. So just for, you know, reference for later, it's a great way to use that. What else have we got? Yeah. Oh, the pips. If you want to be very clever, you can keep the pips in a container in the freezer, and next time you make jam, you know, it's pectin that helps set your jam. Next time you use jam, you need 1 tablespoon of pips and a little bit of cheesecloth, and you do the sorry, I'm distracted by Tracy's question. So so you just put the cheesecloth into the jam for 10 to 15 minutes, and that will help that will help set the jam. What else? Oh, you know, if I'm just going to check that slice, because Boone told me 4 minutes, and it's probably around about that. So I'm going to just check. That's nice. We've lost all
Boom.
the oven gloves.
Yeah.
I'm finishing off the sauce now.
Okay, Boone, do you want to go to Keisha then?
Sure.
So this is taking up the sauce. It's really nice consistency, not too thick, not too runny. So I'll put, it's asking to put 1.5 ounces of lemon juice. So I'll tear and put half. So give us nice lemon flavor, and capers. Stir it and pour it over the fish, and I will show you the fish at the end. Yeah.
Lovely, thanks, Keisha. So Tracy, in answer to your question, it's not 150 grams of lemon curd. It is actually 150 grams of lemon juice that is used in, and that is the lemon curd TM6, 600 grams. Yeah, okay. Couple more tips with your lemons. When it calls for lemon juice in a soup or a casserole, if you pop the lemon carcass in, then that will also, you know, enhance the lemoniness of your, so just as it cooks, let it cook in there with that. And the oil will release from the skin of the lemon and will increase the lemony flavor. And at the end of the cooking time, just, you know, get it out with some tongs, give it a bit of a squeeze, and then the rest of that can then be composted. You can also save your lemon skins. So if you're not using the zest, although we've shown you plenty of recipes that do, if you are not using the zest, then and you just have the skins, save them in the freezer until you've got about 6, and then you can preserve them and have your own preserved lemons. So you preserve them by putting them into a jar, sterilized jar, sprinkle with a layer of salt and repeat until the jar is full, then cover them with olive oil, and you can chuck any other spices in you want at the end as well. Leave in a cool place for a couple of months. And then once you've actually used the lemons out of that, instead of chucking the oil out, just put more lemons in that whole mixture. You can just keep recycling it. Okay. All right, I'm just going to show you my list on Cookie Doo of lemon recipes. I'm going to share my screen.
Mandy, would you take the same opportunity to show how to use the filter for different countries?
I will. I'm just
Yep.
trying to find out why yeah, there we are. Okay.
Yep.
So first of all, I'm going to show you my lemon recipes. So I went through Cookie Doo and I found 85. This wasn't all of them, but 85 recipes. So that, Tracy, is the TM6 600 gram. That uses 150 grams of lemon juice. This is unbelievable, and I would have made it, but you know, I can't share it. So would have been Andrew and I sitting here eating this all night, but I'll tell you what, it's absolutely delicious. It's a really simple. You make the basil and lemon pesto, and then the brie is actually steamed in your varoma with the tomatoes. And when I've made it with people coming over, I'll tell you, it disappears pretty quickly. So that's a really good one. We've got, that's that smoked trout pasta. I talked about that, used a fair bit of lemon juice in it. Moroccan lamb with preserved lemons. You can see there's a whole swag of recipes here. I've made that cake once. That was really interesting. The chili beef with lemon feta, the steamed greens with lemon feta, that's the lemon feta I was talking about. You can use 45 grams of lemon juice in those. We've got a pizza, dessert pizza. These are I think these are, oh dear, looks like the internet's playing up again. The lemon basil tarts, they use a lot. Sorry, I'm not getting the rest of my things, but I do have, I'm more than happy to send out to you. I've made a Cookie Doo playlist with these recipes on it, and I'm happy to send that out to you. I'll also put it in my group. Okay, let's see if the internet's going to play nicely for me now. All right, so if you are using, to use filters, okay, so not everybody on here, I believe, has a TM6, but what you can do, you can access with a TM5 and a TM6, you can, well, even with a TM31, you can still use Cookie Doo recipes. You just need to cook them manually. Cookie Doo is fantastic. It is $49 for a year, and we get access to thousands and thousands and thousands of recipes. What you can do is you can personalize your own profile. So this is me up here, and view profile, and I have you can decide if you're just vegetarian in your house, you can cook the veggie, just click the veggie cook. Time saving cook, the chefy cook, the classic cook. Then I have my preferences saved on here. Unfortunately, they don't save on my laptop. They save on my Thermomix, they save on my phone, they save on my iPad, but they don't save on my laptop. So don't ask me why, but those are preferences that are yours. The other thing I just want to show you here too is account. So when you have a Cookie Do account, when it comes up for renewal, this is where you do it. You have to do it on the website. You cannot do it in the app. The app is fabulous because you've got it on your phone. You can take it shopping. Absolutely love it. But you cannot renew your membership on the app. You must do it on the website. Okay. Now, because I've done a little bit of personalizing, I'm also happy for Corvac to see what I'm cooking on my Thermomix. It picks things for me. So all this is gluten-free stuff, right, that it picks for me because it knows that I like to cook gluten-free. I can start looking in here for recipes, but what I'm going to do is to show the filters a bit better. I'm going to come down and I'm going to go see more. Oops, see more. Hopefully, come on, internet. I've just got this laptop back from a lot of fixing twice, and still it's just setting up, but it's not playing very well. So let's see if I can actually just plug in a bit of internet here. Cable. I've got a cable. Yes, I do. Spot here. No, I don't have a spot to plug in cable, so I can't. All right. Sorry, this is a bit awkward. What I'll do though, if I click on filters, no, it's not going to show me that too either. Keisha, oh no, who's Keisha? If I make you a co-host, can you? Oh, hang on. Let's just see. Let's just see. I've seemed to have. Let's go filters. It's all right. Seem to be happening now. I'm going to come down here. There's two ways you can choose with your language. You can just go English and get rid of Australia. And that's going to show me any recipes anywhere around the world that are in English. That shows me 8,736 recipes. So what I tend to do though is I don't do that. And I'll tell you why. Australia, and then I click, see all these different countries, the United States and the UK. And the reason I do that is because then instead of just looking at recipes, I can look at collections and I can see if anything new has come up. That's me personally. As a consultant, I'm pretty much over Cookie Do, as in I'm not over it. I love it, but I'm all over it. So I know what's new and what's not. And I particularly like to look at new collections. All right. But the way we also filter is by dishes. Right. Not that you would have thought today was winter, except it was a little bit chilly, but you can decide what do you want to look for. Do you want to look for a soup? We'll look for a soup because it was a bit cooler. You can see there's all these different categories that you can look in. If you've got an ingredient you need to use in your fridge, so I love this one, you can pop it in here. If you are gluten-free, dairy-free, whatever, you can tag that in here too. You can look at the difficulty. I don't worry too much about that because basically if you're using a TM5 or a TM6, as long as you've got a cook key for your TM5, you're cooking off the screen and you're following instructions really easily. I don't worry too much about prep time, but I do want to know about total time. So my soup, I want my soup to be ready in 30 minutes. So I've got 90 results. I might say, okay, I want it to feed 6. I've got 86 results. Ratings, I never bother about ratings. And the reason for that is I have never rated a recipe. You probably wouldn't go for a 1-star recipe, but you know, it really, I don't worry about ratings. I don't know. Boone, do you do ratings?
No.
No. All right, Thermomix version. The only reason they've got the different versions here is TM31, obviously the bowl is smaller. You need to be careful that you don't go over the maximum line in your bowl. TM5 and TM31 don't have the high heat option that the TM6 has. You've got a TM6, you can cook anything. All right, so I'm going to go show 86 results. So now I've got 86 results for soups that take less than 30 minutes, 6 portions, and they come from those 3 countries, or 3 countries. So I can go down here and I can have a bit of a look at the different soups. I've never made the carrot and coriander, but it looks delicious. Thai green broccoli is yummy, and spinach. I want to show you the pumpkin soup. So this is a classic one. It's probably in everybody's basic cookbook. But what you may not know is, well, first of all, I'll just show you what you see in all recipes. It serves 4 people. It takes 30 minutes and it's easy. You also get a list of all your ingredients here. You get a bit of an idea about what you're going to do. It gives you the nutritional content, all right? It gives you the fat, the carbs, the protein, etc. But what I love about this, and there's so many people I've spoken to who say, I love the pumpkin soup. They've never tried or seen the Asian style pumpkin soup. In your tips and tricks, are often little things like that. So you know how I added those bits of chili into my patties? That was a tip at the bottom. So I wouldn't even have thought about it. Lots of people are very much more creative than me, but I love the fact that it made that suggestion. So that's basically how, we've looked at the filters. But what I can do now is I can go, all right, I want to add that to a collection. I'm just going to create a collection for now. I'm just going to go, what are we? Lemons. Lemon event. I'm just going to put so I know where it is later. Okay. So I know where to find that later. Obviously, I've got some soup collections already, but you would go soup. I'm also going to add it to my week because I know it's a really delicious one, and I will do the Asian version. I'm going to put it in for middle of the week because I've got a few things already made. I made the cauliflower and creamy cauliflower and chicken, or chicken and cauliflower soup. That was delicious. We had the other day. I'm also going to add it to my shopping list. Now, if I want to go back and find that recipe, oh, by the way, before I do that, I would go back in here. I would look at all these soup recipes whilst I'm on Soup Filter and decide which ones I want to remember. This one is sensational. I know Kelly will totally agree with that because I gave her some. She lives across the road and she had to go shopping to buy some, to buy the ingredients straight away. And she normally shops once a week and she had to go midweek. It was so good. Whoever's not on mute, could you please mute yourself? So I would go through there and then I've got all my soups are done. Then to find them, I go into creative collections and I did under lemon something, lemon event. There you go. There it is. So I want to find it again. There it is. Go into my week. I put it in for Wednesday. There it is. And here I'm going to look at my shopping list. So I can go to my shopping list. I know I don't need to buy water. I've got butter. I would need to buy the cream. I don't need to buy the pepper, the salt, the veggie stock paste. I've got an onion. I've got, I'd need the basil. I need those other things, but actually I don't need basil because I'm doing the variation. So I would need lemongrass, which I would add in here, and chili. And then I'd obviously probably wouldn't do this for this number of ingredients, but I can go and order my ingredients. I can order them online. So it goes to Woolies. Not that we're going to Woolies Chadstone at the moment because it's tier 2 hotspot. And here we go. I can swap for different things, but then you just add it to your Woolworths cart. So simple. Okay. Oh, the soup's amazing. It is amazing, Kelly, isn't it? I just love it. All right. Now, that's pretty much, I haven't had a chance to do my little patties. Here's the mess here. I have 2 little ones formed there. I've got to make the rest of them. Haven't had a chance to do that. But I will make them, I will post them in my group. Now, would anybody on here who hasn't got a TM6 who would like to learn a little bit more about it, because I can show you a little bit more about it if you're interested.
I have a TM5, so I wouldn't mind knowing what I'm missing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, okay. I will just give you a quick little rundown of the TM6. All right, so it is a smart connected kitchen. I didn't actually see who was talking, but do you have a cook key?
Yes, I do.
You do, okay, yeah, all right. Okay, so with the TM6, the bowl is different from the TM5. It's the same size. Your TM5 bowl would not fit, would not work on your TM6. And the reason for that is because we have a high heat function on the TM6. So like you, like both other Thermomixes, we can go all the way up to aroma temperature on here. But the TM6 in guided cooking, it can use up to 160 degrees. So that's used, it means that you can caramelize onions, you can brown meat, you can use it for sugar stages like making caramel and honeycomb. That is only available in guided cooking. And when you are using that in guided cooking, you follow the recipe exactly. Okay. So we've got our time, temperature, and speed. With our temperature, everything up to 120 is on a thermostat, which is the same as a TM5, would be the same as a TM31. You do need to be on barometer temperature to steam. On here, we have, I'm just going to get rid of that temperature. On here, so whichever one of these dials is large is what you control with this silver one. This means that the blades are chopping. That means that they're on reverse, and that took me about a week to find. Okay, so it's really simple, but that's where it is. The other thing we've got on here is we swipe this way. We've got the different functions here. So on the TM5, you've got your scales and you've got turbo and you've got dough mode down here. On the TM6, they're just all available here. So we've got our scales are also in 1 gram increments. And as on the other thermixes, you can tear them. So I can pop something on there, I can tear that, and I can keep adding. We've got dough mode. So remember that, excuse me, I think I just got pepper then. That's your kneading function. 2 minutes of kneading in the thermix is equivalent to 25 minutes of kneading by hand. Turbo you saw me use. Pre-clean. Now, if you do have a TM5 and a cook key, there has been a recent update which will give you a bit of a pre-clean. I think we've had available, pre-clean's been available for a while, but I think there was some update around that recently. What I love about this is we basically can choose, was it dough that was put in there? A universal clean is what I use most of the time. Fat or caramel would be after you use that, the high heat probably, and the same with the browning. All the little functions have an information button up here. So it says pour a maximum 1 litre of water and a little drop of washing up liquid. Massive tip, 1 drop washing up liquid. And if you are using the browning function, the browning clean, just use a little bit of white vinegar. Because apparently you know how powerful this machine is. It can froth up particularly when you're on browning, because it's a longer time. It can froth up the liquid. Okay, we've got an automatic blend. We've got the egg boiler. This is a game changer. So no basket required. You put your water in. I think it's place 2 to 6 eggs directly into the bowl. Add the water up to the 1 litre mark. And then after that, you select how you like your eggs. Soft, medium, hard or hard. And then you walk away and they come back and they're done. That's fantastic. Kettle mode, I've only used it a couple of times, but you know how if you've got fancy, I'm not a connoisseur. So when it comes to what do you call them? Not normal teas, herbal teas. That's the word. You know, they're not meant to go up at 100 degrees to be made into tea. So you can change this back to wherever it's meant to be, which I don't know because I just do normal for herbals. Warm up mode for soup. Then thicken, well, other things as well. Thicken, rice cooker, fermentation, slow cook, and sous vide. I just use all of those in guided cooking. So we can slow cook, we can sous vide, but to do those, you really need a blade cover. So the blade cover literally sits over blades. I'm just going to pop it in here so you can see. All right. So that gives you, it means that, you know, when you're slow cooking, you don't want to, you know, your meat gets very soft. So it's not going to get shredded if you've got a blade cover in there. It also gives you greater volume for sous vide. You can sous vide in a TM5 as well, but you'd need to be doing it if you don't have a blade cover in the simmering basket. Fermentation is obviously yogurt, and there's lots of ways you can make that. There's lots and lots of recipes for that. The other thing we've got here, just go back to the home button. If I swipe that way, we go straight to cookie dough, and this is the massive advantage, I think, of the TM6. It's just so easy to use, and the bigger screen is nice too. So I can just go in here and I can start searching. So let's just firing up. All right, just because I looked at it before, we'll go pumpkin soup. There we go, straight away. And I can just find it and I can just start cooking straight away. The other thing on here too, so you can find your recipes. I've got recently cooked. That's where I found those little cheesecake recipes. I did the base there of that slice, on which I have taken out, and I'll show you in a minute. My week, so when I've organized all that stuff up on Cookie Doo, it's here. My recipes, I've got bookmarks, created collections, and saved collections. So the collection I made today with you guys, just the one recipe in it, lemon event, is my pumpkin soup again. So really simple. And under settings, this is really cool, is your sounds. So I've got my sounds turned down really low, and only for 10 seconds. So it literally chimes 4 chimes and it stops, and the volume is really low. So I think the fact that the screen is fantastic, the functions are wonderful. When we heard what the TM6 was coming out, I thought, really, do we really need one? But it is fantastic. I love it. Show you my slice quickly, because it's come out of the oven and it smells amazing.
I think I was a bit annoyed that the TM6 came out so soon after the TM5. So.
Yeah, I think with this, I think they did a much better job of it though than they did with TM31. Not that I was around for TM31, Boone was, but and when the TM5 came out, they did give people a lot of notice of it coming out. I know it doesn't help if you bought one 3 years beforehand, but and the thing with this, because it's Wi-Fi'd, we can get updates. So we've had, so the sous vide and the slow cook were new. Oh, and the egg boiler and the cleaning, they're all modes that have been added since we actually had the TM6. So it's pretty cool like that. All right, we better go and look at Keisha's fish. I've forgotten about that. Sorry.
Okay. Let me.
Oh wow! Wish I could come to your house. You're too far away.
Let's share.
Oh, that looks amazing, and all those veggies, so healthy, Keisha.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for helping.
No worries.
Okay, right. Does anybody else have any questions at all? Okay, so just before you do go, we have on Tuesday night, we have the lovely Irene, who has so much information. She is actually at 8 o'clock going to give us a masterclass of risottos. And she did this for some of the team last Monday, and we're going, oh my goodness, this is so good. We would love you to do it for customers, because she's got so much information. She is so specific about things. She really tastes her food. I cook, she's chef, you know, like there's a difference. I have fun, I love it, and I love sharing with you guys, but she is, she probably wouldn't say she's a perfectionist, but she is, isn't she, Boone? Boone's hiding from me now in the Northern Lights. All right, so that is, if anyone wants to any information about that, please contact me. You've all got my email address now through today, if you don't have it otherwise, and I have put it in my Facebook group, so please feel free to join us for that, because it was amazing. All right, so if there's no more questions, thank you all so much for coming, and great to see you. Great to see some people here who haven't seen for a while, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.